Okay, welcome back to another PBJ watch along. Today we are going to be taking a look at advanced digital forensic solutions, solving. My goodness, here we go. I want to make absolutely sure I get it right. Solving human trafficking investigations on scene. What these guys do at ADF Solutions is they have what they call open source intelligence. And what they use is this thing called Digital Evidence Investigator Pro. Now, I took a look at this video a little ways through, and basically, if you have a device that is open and unlocked, they can, it looks like not just search through it, but probably make an image of this device so they can go through it and search for anything that they want to with search terms, pictures, et cetera, et cetera. Ostensibly to stop or to recognize and find human traffickers. So, um, without further ado, let's go ahead and start. I will tell you that as a privacy um, fan, I am concerned that people are using human trafficking to get into places that they really shouldn't be. But that doesn't really matter what I think because this is what's really happening, and we're going to get a look at their tool and see how they use it. I'm going to sign out for now and let's let the show begin.
And welcome to our Anti-Human Trafficking webinar. I'm honored that you have chosen to spend some time with me today as we delve into the numerous possibilities that are incorporated into our catalog of tools. I'm your host, I'm Rich Frawley, and I'm the Director of Training here at ADF Solutions. I appreciate you joining us today as we take a look at our Digital Evidence Investigator Pro tool today and see some of the abilities that you'll have specific to the human trafficking investigations. Just a little bit here. I came to ADF Solutions after my 22-year career in law enforcement, and 17 of those years were as a forensic examiner and investigator assigned to our computer crime unit. And if nothing else in my career, I learned the value of being able to grab this information up front, grab intelligence information, do triage, do investigations out on scene. It really helps in putting your case together, and not only that, helps reduce your backlog and get you moving on to other important investigations as well. Coming from a one-man shop, I assisted and supported many other departments, and could quickly be inundated with devices if we didn't institute a plan to kind of reduce the items out in the field or zero in on what you want and move on. And one thing I learned that all investigations are not the same. Everybody does them a little bit different. So as we're talking today and I'm giving some use cases, realize that it may not exactly be the way you do something. And if you see a use case and you'd like to investigate that further, please feel free to give us a ring and set up some time. There's nothing more I love to do than to sit with the users of the tool and figure out how to use it. So we're going to go over a little bit about ADF and how our tools work, and then right into the functionality available for these types of investigations. And as a company, we're focused on solutions. It's even in our name, Advanced Digital Forensic Solutions. We're trying to solve investigations. We're focused on developing technology solutions that will help you do your job faster, with a primary focus of helping you protect victims. It's why we're all here today. As a company, ADF's been around for over 16 years, and our technological foundation's rooted in forensic triage. And with that, you can see where it comes in really handy with intelligence gathering, investigation, and then into further triage type work and examinations. So our early years were spent creating software specifically for image identification and analysis for child exploitation. Government agencies, law enforcement being those main drivers asking for this technology. our immediate value as a triage tool was in providing that on-scene intelligence, a capture of that potential evidentiary information. And it's since morphed into solutions that are easier to use for investigators and helping reduce case backlog, as I mentioned earlier. Sometimes cases aren't about putting the evidence together and finishing a case. Sometimes the cases involve intelligence gathering, getting to the specifics on scene, allowing you to move forward and find the next target. We do have the true triage, or that intelligence gathering capabilities, specifically needed in the ICAC, or Internet Crimes Against Children, child sexual abuse material, child exploitation, human trafficking, counterterrorism, all these different realms where we can get you this information up front. Victim witness, right? You only have consent for certain data. We're going to be able to help you get that. Data that's not going to be contained in a logical acquisition. You have the phone up and available to you, and you want to get some information off of it, we're going to help you do that. You have the ability maybe to get that acquisition, get some information, and you don't have the time to get that physical. We're going to help you there. If that physical's days away from being able to be done, we're going to be able to help you get that information that you need there. You only need specific data to support your investigation or your decision. Happens all the time, right? I don't want everything off this device. I just want some specific information. We'll show you how to do that. And a lot of times you may be limited in your scope of the acquisition by your judicial system. And we'll show you how that comes into play as well. So let us show you how to overcome some of these issues, move away from the bad habits that may have transpired in some of these situations. But let's go back to the beginning. Right, our technological foundation is rooted in forensic triage. Our early years were spent creating software specifically for image identification. We're still focused on helping law enforcement in fighting child exploitation and getting to the evidence fast. We're also committed to all types of crimes and realize there are other victims, especially with human trafficking being a large enough issue to have dedicated task forces, as with your ICAC and your child exploitation cases. We're built to handle any cases you investigate, designed with the investigator in mind. This tool can be used frontline, investigators who have a wealth of knowledge in this area, right up to the examiner who has put in their time and their certifications, and that's all they do. So we cover all three of those areas. With our tool, you can customize search profiles and really get to what you are looking for. So a search profile, that's what you say, hey, I want to go in and I want to grab these artifacts and I want to grab these types of files and maybe run these keywords against them and these hashes and see what I get. So you can customize this to say, listen, I only want this, I only want that, I want these hashes, or I don't want to see any of the pictures on there, but if it matches a hash, I want to collect it. There's just a huge realm of ways to collect this information or collect the information you want. I can sit here and list off a couple of them, but really, if you're looking for something and it's on there or think it's on there, maybe in a specific area, we're really going to be able to whittle down to what you want and get you what you need. So I'm kind of talking about triage. It is important, and the way I'm going to show the tool today kind of is on the triage side, but I'm going to kind of gather more on intelligence gathering. But you can look at it both ways, as triage and intelligence gathering. It's important. These are things you need to do. You're going to have piles of devices. You're going to have witnesses that are willing to give you some information. However, they want their phone back right away or within a reasonable amount of time. They're not going to give you that time you may need to do backups to hold it, and you may not have everything you need to keep the phone that long. So we'll show you how to get through this. And like I was mentioning earlier, all different types of cases, and this helps you prioritize and keep your case alive. So what are some of the ways we can help? Mentioned some of them before, but we're talking about live Windows and boot scans of Windows computers. So a live scan of a Windows computer, it's up and running, you can scan that. If it's off, we can boot to it and scan it. We can also now connect to any of your Mac computers and do some scans of those as well. And if you have any other type of boxes on there, we should be able to boot to it and to look for what you want off of it, all from our USB device or USB device you create with our tool. You can do RAM collection. Mobile device support with screenshot capabilities, one of the things we are going to go over today. They can be put on a field tablet. We have them on field tablets, right? So it's the lab in your hands out in the field. You've got a tablet with a touch screen, connect your device, and you're off to the races collecting what you need to put your investigation together. You have a mobile lab. You can take this out into the mobile lab, attach any devices that you find on scene to that workstation you have in your mobile lab, and grab that information. You can also customize your scans, adding hashes, CyberTip images, VIX, CADE, unique keywords, case specific instead of crime specific. We have both of them, but you'll really be able to customize all this information. And you can do it right out in the field, in the lab. If you have not set a triage routine and you're starting from scratch, we can help you there. This will help you set that triage routine in the lab. So if you didn't do anything out in the field, you got a box full of devices coming back, you can set it up to do that. You can do your VIX and CADE runs against your stuff before it actually comes onto your machine for your examination. You can have all that done prior. Time-based configurability in order to get through your information. Does it have something on there or does it not? If I run a couple of different scans on there, I could be comfortable in the fact that we're going to pass on this one or put it at the end and bring all the others up to the top. And you can do comprehensive scans. That's, everything from everywhere. So from your field tablet, from a laptop, from your workstation, if you have a iOS or Android device and you want to scan it, it's as simple as connecting it through its data cable to the machine and doing the scan on there. For a computer, same way, you can hook your device to the workstation. Any attached devices can be scanned. If you bring it out to the field, we put it on a USB device, a collection key, if you will. You could bring out as many of these as you want and scan as many laptops, computers, tablets out in the field as you want as well with one license. A couple of shout outs here. A couple of our partners, the Anti-Human Trafficking Intelligence Initiative. They follow the money. So for your open source intelligence that you're typically doing in these types of investigations, a lot of data here. One of our partners, they do a lot of that information there and post this open source information. They also use our tool and teach our tool as well. And then we have the International Justice Mission. They are also a good partner, and our tool is being used internationally for all types of human trafficking issues. So let me close this down here. I have a tool up here. Let's get into looking at the tool. I've talked enough here. You kind of want to see. So with human trafficking, a lot of the work's done up front. With your open source intelligence, you're digging, you're finding, you're locating, and you're trying to put your investigation together. Once you have that done, all that work, and you're still on the path to your target, it's inevitable that you're going to encounter digital devices that have information that will further your investigation or confirm that you have the correct device. So let's take a look at some of these situations where time is the essence. You have access to a device here and now and want to document what you have. So what you see on your screen is Digital Evidence Investigator Pro. I'm going to back up a screen here and show you it. We have our investigate computers, investigate mobile devices. Again, it could be on a tablet. If you're going to be doing mobile devices out in the field, you could be sitting at a table, sitting in your vehicle, sitting just about anywhere with this. Connect your iOS or Android device and take care of it. So let's go into mobile first. This seems to be where a lot of the information is going. And you have, as I said before, your investigators, you're doing a lot of great work up front. You're putting together information that is going to help you lead you to these locations, lead you to these devices. And when you get there, you want to say, yeah, this is the person, this is what I'm looking for. Some of this may be coming internationally. You may be dealing with traffickers from another country, and they're sending back information on you on the person here. Well, in your country, I know I'm talking to several today, but for my purposes here in the States, something may be coming in from somewhere else, and they give you information, and you want to confirm with who you're looking at there. A lot of times you don't have time, or you don't have what you're looking for, or you're looking to move on. You're looking to just gather information to move on, right? You're never going to seize this phone. You're looking for information to maybe get to the next place. Intelligence gathering, if you will. Now, everybody has their different ways of doing their investigations. Everybody has their ways of doing things, and everybody has their judicial processes. So I'm not telling you not to follow all those, but you have a device. It's open. It has to be open, right? Unlocked, and we want to scan this. We want to look at some information that's on here, and a lot of the times you're probably going through these manually and looking at things or taking a picture of what's on there, so you can go and continue on with your open source intelligence, right? You're going to take the numbers you find on this phone and maybe go do a little bit more digging on that. So a great way to document it if you don't have the time to do that backup. If you want to document it, you see it on there. Maybe this information is not going to be in a backup. Maybe it will be in the backup, but you don't have time. So let's go to our screenshot mode. I just think this is a great way to document things, and you can keep this. You can keep the chain of custody. You can keep this alive. So I've connected an iOS device here. You can see that it is open. It is connected. Where I'm going to save the information, that would be on your tablet, or if you have an attached device to save to, you can set that and its name, and I'm just going to proceed here. It brings me into the screenshot area. Very simple. Frontline investigators, you guys with the wealth of knowledge, examiners. Pretty simple. You come in here, the instructions are down on the right and down on the left, the device that's connected. You can create groups. I'm going to do different types of screenshots here, but here I'm going to document the home screens just to show what was on the device. So the phone is up. I have it open. I made a category called home screen. I go to take my screenshot, and up in the screenshot area, you will see the home screen that is up on the screen there show up here. This is saved into your case. It is not saved on the device itself. I can just swipe over to any of the screens and just take the screenshots, keep swiping. I've got my news. Go back the other way. I have my library of the recently used. Just scroll up and make sure I have all that. So you can see here fairly simple to catalog what's on that device. You can go into the settings if you want and start documenting some of that. But what's important to me today is call logs. I want to move on. I want to know who this person's been calling and how they've been calling them. That's what's important to me. And in this one, they've been using an app to make the phone calls. They've been using a couple. So call logs from text free. I'm sure some of you have seen these types of apps where you can get the free number and use it on Wi-Fi and make calls with these numbers. So I have this text free open. I made a new category. I take a screenshot and I can see the 2 calls or text messages that were sent on this one. And the next one I'm going to do is similar. Text me. I'm going to go to that app. And you can see here, I just start at the top and I can start scrolling through my numbers one by one and making sure I gather all the phone numbers that are in this log. And now they are here for me to close my case. If this is all I wanted. If I had some chats in here, I can go and do that. Photo vaults, whatever you can see on the device, you can screenshot. Nice thing about this, when you're done, you can finish and it just saves the screenshots for you to process when you're all done with the case. It makes the case, it applies the hashes, the dates and times, and it also runs optical character recognition, which will show. Or you can acquire it if you do have the time. I've made my screenshots. Now I want to do the acquisition of the device. You could do the acquisition and then process later the same. So I have all that. I would hit finish. It's going to say acquisition completed, and then I can go back into my scan screen later, access that backup, and process those results. So let me go into review scan results. And no, don't have those. Let me go back here and show you scan. Very simple to get into. I'm going to add that backup. I am going to locate where I saved that backup to. There it is. There's the screenshots. Select the folder. We have a profile that's used for screenshots. And I have that one hidden, but I will run another one against it, and it'll process the screenshots that are in here. You can see now it's going through and processing those screenshots. So what does it do when it processes? So we saved all those screenshots. It's going through, it's bringing the screenshots in one by one. It's processing it with OCR, or optical character recognition, and it's pulling the text out of those. So when you're in your case, if you've taken a lot of these screenshots, you'll be able to search and figure out exactly which one you were looking for. Just give me a second here because I'm doing a live demo. This is taking a couple of seconds longer, and I thought I had one saved, but I did not, to show you the screenshots. So I do want this to process a little bit. So it processes it with OCR. When you get into the case, when you look at each individual screenshot, it will have the date and time that it was taken. It'll have a hash value of that screenshot, right? So that's important. If you were doing it any other way, you were taking pictures of it, you were using a camera, you were taking screenshots and sending them off to somebody else, it would not necessarily be the best way, and it may be open to interpretation later. So here you have it. You have that information there. Let me see if I could get in and see a couple of these as they processed. I could tell you when I'm not doing a live demo, I have some results in another one here that the screenshots processed. If I took 22 screenshots, it took 28 seconds to process it and open that case. So it does not take too long, and you will be able to see those as you go through. I may have some in some of my other results here. Let me see. I have the device information, I have my screenshots. So yeah, here's a couple that have been processed. I can see here it's my call logs. One of the pictures, you can see I have my integrity hash value of it. I have the date and time that the screenshot was taken. It's all enclosed here in the case for me to go through. I can see the preview of that. And let me see. I'll show you that you can search on, oh, I can't because the scan is running. Scan is completed. So while I was in here explaining it, everything is done. There we go. So if I wanted to look for, I know there's a screenshot and I forgot which one had my numbers in it. I could come in here and type in 203 and what was 902. Where are all the numbers with 203? There we go. So I had three numbers with 203. It brings me to the number. It's highlighted there. I can go into the preview and see there's one of my 203 numbers, and very easily so there was one text that had the word available in it. I didn't highlight it before, but if I come in here and look at that, I can see the preview, the word available. I'm sorry, textual content, the word available should be highlighted in there, and you would be able to see it in the preview. You can see the home screens here. If I was looking to see if any apps, I can search for those. So there's text free, there's text me, there's my home screens, able to bring those in. I can now do a report on it, bookmark the ones that had the important information, or bring this back and bring up the preview and start using my open source intelligence tools to start going through these logs and running these numbers one by one. A couple other ways we can use this. Let me go back. I'm just going to go right into scan results. We have the phone connected. You can do a scan of the device here. So if I open this one up, it is, we did a complete backup of this device, or advanced logical acquisition of this device. I can see here, there's not a lot in here. In the lower left-hand corner, I can see how long it took to back it up, what device it was. In the top, I can see how long it took to scan it. And then all the information that was pulled off of that device. The device information, all the database files are on here. So if there's something that wasn't collected in the backup, or it wasn't processed in the backup because it's an app that maybe we don't support, and the database file is on there, you will have those to go through for your more advanced users. For your messaging, you can come in and look at all the messages in Bubble View and in timeline format. So if there were multiple chat applications, you would be able to come through here and look at those. Now, with this, I'm talking about keywords that are unique earlier. You have your open source intelligence. You're looking for specific information. And the nice thing about the job you're doing and the information you're gathering is there's specificity, right? You're looking for things that aren't necessarily going to be on everybody's computer. You're not looking for the last name Smith. And if your target is Smith, you're going to have other information that's specific for you to look for. So if you're dealing with these people, traffickers, you're dealing with people who are purchasing time where the slavery or trafficking is going on, but they're purchasing time here to view things, right? and they're transferring money. Let's say they're using Western Union. You have this now, and you can start going through. And one of the ones I like to use, because I know if somebody has to pick up Western Union on the other end, there's a money transfer control number, or an MTCN. And if somebody's using that and they're using that abbreviation, you can come right into your case, plug that in, and here it found MTCN and the number in a text message, and it highlighted that text message for me. And I can see all the properties belonging to this: the principal, the recipient, the date and time it was sent. So you're able to, when you have that information you're grabbing, maybe it's from another device, maybe it's through your background, maybe it's through your open source intelligence, you're able to look for this type of information. I could search for Western Union. There may be more hits, but it will go through here and help you. You can also see here that my second hit on MTCN brings me to the notes. So it pulled the notes off of this device, and in the notes was also this mobile transfer control number, which was actually spelled out in the numbers in those notes as well. So you can see, once you have that, you can start searching through your information and gathering what you want fairly quick. So we also have what's called our preview mode with devices. So I showed you screenshot, really get in there, grab your information, and you're off to the races. You can also make the advanced logical backup or advanced logical acquisition of that device, gather your information, and start looking through it. And you can also scan some other devices. Now, with the phones, pretty cut and dry. What I wanted to do is show you the preview mode. So you have multiple devices. You go into a place and you're like, well, I've got 7 devices here. I don't have the time to back them all up. Some of them are maybe the kids in the house. Some of them are, maybe employees that have nothing to do this, but we want to triage this. We want to make sure we have the right device. So you can go into preview mode, connect that device, and proceed. Now, this one is Apple iOS. You'll get more information off the device if it's encrypted. It has a backup password. You are going to need to know that information in order to pull this information off or make the backup. Again, you need access to the device when using our tool. So I just had to confirm that on the device. So what happens in a preview? Phone's connected. I just went in and asked it to start looking at the device and what's on there. So in real time, it's starting to collect information off of this device. Up on top, you can see there's some artifact collection going on. There's some device information. I can go in there and look at, my device information, phone number, any of that information that may have been caught up. I can go into my picture gallery. I can see it's already found 6 pictures that were on this device. If your dogs and this guy were the traffickers, if this is what we were looking for, right away I can say this is a phone that I want to look at. So what is it doing? It's making the acquisition in the background and processing it in real time. So as the files and folders are coming in, they get processed in real time. You see what you want, you can stop it. It's a start. You don't have to wait for it to end. So as you're going through, you see what you want, you can stop it. Everything that I collected in that preview has been saved on that, in my case, and I can go back and create a report and report on it. Let me put up another phone here. Show you a little bit more. This one's a little more heavily used. I'm going to go into preview on it. This one's an Android. Now, we do have a wizard for those frontline investigators who don't necessarily do this all the time. Once you've done a couple of phones that connected them, it's pretty easy. Standard process, you connect it, you know what you need to do. If you don't, there is a wizard that helps walk you through and tell you what you need to do in order to get that connected. I'm going to just cancel that. I've already got it connected. There's my Android. All same information. I hit proceed. I am in preview mode. So again, it's going to take a couple seconds here to cache some of the files to open the case for me. And again, you have Android, you have iOS on scene. You can just jump back and forth between the two and start doing your preview of it. Now, as I said, this one has a little bit more information on it. You can see already it's got some device information, the networks it's been connected to. If you're trying to put your trafficker to a certain area, a certain place, a network that you knew they were connected to, I've already got that. I can see there's multiple user accounts on here. That's important, right? There was a loophole with some recent cases where somebody was using a second account to try to get away with their stuff. I got some messaging. I got the installed applications. What I want to show you here is there's 26 files that have been collected so far in this backup process. But if I go into my images, especially if you're doing any types of cases with the child exploitation information, it's already identified 1,619 images on this device. It's made thumbnails of them. It's parsed out their properties. It's starting to process the metadata so that you can analyze this as you're previewing it. You don't have to wait. Like I said, it's a beginning. It's not necessarily an end. This takes a couple seconds. Again, I'm doing live, but if I come into my EXIF information, I can see there's Google and Nikon. My model, you can see Coolpix, Nikon. If I'm going through to see if there's any with coordinates, it's not there yet. Now it is processing them as it's in here. As I'm in here, it knows these are important to me, so it's going through and processing these this information. Same with video. If I come in, I can see it's identified for videos. It's processing that information now and collecting the videos. Because I am in here, it focuses its energy on it. But we've already got the properties. It breaks it down into frames, first frame, last frame, 48 from in between. So you get a pretty good idea what's in that video right away. And then if you need to play it, it will download it or move it, and you'll be able to preview that as well. Let me go back into pictures just to show you the processing. So now I can see there's more makes from the metadata that have been identified. I can see there's some Apple photos on this device, so I could filter right down to those. And I can see some of the information that's on there, or I can see the Apple photos that were sent to this Android device. Now, if these have coordinate information, which I believe they do, this may be important to you. Now, while we don't map it within the tool, it can easily be sent to your default viewer for pictures. And the one I have here, I can go right in and view my EXIF information on the device. And down here, it asks me to show it in Google Maps. If I click on that, it will open it up in my browser, and I'll be able to see exactly where that picture was taken. So, real time previewing the device, filtering down to the images, bringing it out, and showing you where that picture was taken, especially in the trafficking world, that you want this information up quick. Maybe see where they've been. If they happen to be passing through your town and you have them at this time, you may be able to go back and start tracking them backwards, especially if they're muling people across your country at the time. So a lot of different ways. Handsome fella there, huh? Just a little gardening picture here. It's trafficking in something else, if you will. So you can see this is finishing up. It's processing all the pictures, the videos. Again, if I saw what I wanted, I can stop it. I can go back in. I can tag, bookmark, filter, sort, do everything that I need to do, create a report right then and there. This can all be done on scene. Let me get over to computer a little bit and show you some results. Now, you could, like I said, you could take this out into the field. put it on a USB device, plug it into any laptop, any desktop, anything that's attached to those, you'll have at your disposal. So what I wanted to show you with that is, here is a full computer that has been scanned. This was a partition on a computer, a typical user partition. We were looking for specific information off of it. It ran in 8 minutes. You can see here I have unique keywords to my case that I ran against this scan. So here's a name, Shard Lake. Now, if you're investigating somebody that has a unique name like that, and you have somebody else's device and you want to see if there's this relationship between the two, I can go look at my keyword and see where all the hits are, what tables they're in. So I can see Shard Lake has some saved contacts on this device, and it shows it to me in the contacts table. I can see there's 14 messages between Shard Lake and the user of this computer. I can go right to that, and it'll show me all the messages between Shard Lake and the user, and there's also some calls on here as well. So running a scan on that was a live Windows scan. It was done in 8 minutes. I have all this information at my fingertips. So you can see when you're going out, you don't need to necessarily bring all that back, if you will. You may have 5 computers on scene and only 2 are important. You'll be able to do these scans on scene, look at the information, and start putting your stuff together as well. Unique keywords, again, this is images. If I was looking for images, the ones with the red lines underneath were automatically tagged as they were found. They matched something like a hash value or a keyword, and when it was found, it said, oh, this is important. I automatically want it tagged for my report, and it does that. The other ones here with the red magnifying glass and without the red line or any line underneath means it wasn't tagged, but it is a match on a hash or a keyword. So they were located, they were found, and they're brought right to the top of my case. Now, the same is with keywords. We could match those. Where's this come in handy? Browsing history. If I go into browsing history, and there's some keywords I was looking for specific to my case, anything with a red magnifying glass shows that it's a hit on one of those keywords. I can filter those right to the top and see all the keywords that were important to me. So getting in, getting it set up, and looking through your results very quick. I come in, there's a live machine. I run that scan on it. There's also external drives, and I want to see what's on those external drives. I'm going to show you images because it's just easier visually, but I could set it up to pull documents off of there as well. So images and documents. I could run keywords. I could run hashes, but I have a thumb drive that had some images on it. And this was set to detect the images and pull out all that information. Here's my scan. It was an 8 gig drive. It pulled off 190 videos. There were no keyword hits, and it did it in 6 seconds. So you can see where you can customize these to pull off the information you want in a short amount of time. We help you with that information. We help you put those together if you need. So once you've learned the tool and you've created a couple of these, you'll be doing this second nature. But again, you can set these up to gather the information you want. If you know you're looking for, and let me go in and show you here, setting up scans, because there's other information here. It's kind of difficult to show in here without actually having a device that was set up for cryptocurrency. But we do some searches for cryptocurrency on devices. So if you're getting out there and you're looking for specific names and you're looking for other monetary ways of apps, like I said, Western Union and things like that, but you're also looking for cryptocurrency, we do have a cryptocurrency traces here. It detects, looks for wallets, it looks for the apps, it looks for any information that they may be using this and that it's important in your case. Is it going to parse it all out there for you in the field? No, you're not going to get all that information, but you're going to know, hey, this is important. This one's coming back. There's information on there. And again, with your open source intelligence, if there's some information on here, you may be able to run in there. I know ATII has a great platform. I believe it's called Hades, where again, they're following the money. So if you have these types of cases, the information you find here can be put in there, or the information you found in there can be looked for on the devices. So it's a two-way street. But you'd come in, you look at your groups and applications. I'm looking for cryptocurrency case traces, maybe remote access. I want to take some screenshots if you're doing mobile, and you just move down through each one of your groups and you turn on and turn off what you're looking for in there. You can customize your own. So you can bring in your keywords and your hash values. And like I said, you could get very specific as to what you're looking for. I know that in my investigation that they're using, I'm just going to say QuickBooks. And I know QuickBooks is saved in these default locations. You can set a profile that will go in and just pull that information out for you and have it there at your disposal. Or I just want to collect all the documents from the user profile. You can set it to do that. It does it fast. You can say, okay, I want the user information, I want the device information, I want the user profiles, and I want the USB devices that have been attached to this. Let's say you're on scene looking at it. So you're doing a search warrant, you'll be able to tell the people on scene what has been attached to that. And let me show you what I mean with that. Preview.
Okay, so I'm gonna break in here and ask you to think about this. Is this privacy? Is this okay with you? I know that we're talking about this being for human trafficking, and I understand that, and it obviously is a horrendous thing. But do you think that this is right? Just something to think about. I'll put him back on.
That's not the one I wanted to. So if I look at my K9 custom, you're doing a scan. Now, as you're scanning a device, you can look at the results in real time as it's scanning. So this may have just processed USB devices and it hasn't moved on from that area yet. You can come over here to USB history. You can start going through this on scene and saying, hey, look, there's a thumb drive. It's not attached to the device. I don't see it on the desk. It's got a volume name of BlackRock. It's a Mushkin. So as you're going through drawers, as you're going through pockets, as you're looking on, wherever in this room, let's try to locate this device. You'll notice sometimes that, and I've had this specifically happen, where there's a 500 gig drive, external drive that's missing that was attached, and sure enough, you find it under the pillow or under the mattress or in a drawer somewhere. But that helps you. User accounts helps you with information in your interviews when you're on scene. If you're looking at their information within minutes and have it there, you're able to put it together. We're coming up towards the end. What I want to do here is see if I've had any questions that may have come in. And excuse me. I think so. So somebody asked, it looks like if this is going to be available later. Yes, this recording is usually done in the first 24 hours. And deleted items. So good question. On mobile, right, we're looking at a logical. You're looking at what's available to you as a user, and in a backup, what they choose to let you have in that advanced logical backup. Now, when we connect to a device, we have several different ways of connecting to it and pulling information off. It's not a straight backup. That's why it's called an acquisition, right? We're sending commands, we're putting an app up there, we're trying to pull down as much information as you can. But some of it you're not going to get. Some of that is deleted. If you're looking for things that are deleted off of devices, you're gonna have to go the physical route. We're all about getting your information up front. Even with the physical route, if items are being deleted, and in some of these, the way it works is every file has its own encryption key, and when you delete that file, the encryption key is gone as well. But if you are looking at some of these messaging apps and their databases, the SQLite or SQLite databases, when they delete some information, it may still be contained in that database, and if it is, we will collect that. So maybe that's your chat messages, your browsing histories, and all that. So this is on the mobile side. As we get into the computer side, we're going to get a lot more on the deleted data. We're going to get a lot more information that way. It's just the nature of the beast, if you will. So, good question. Let me bring up here again. Show you this quick. So again, I mentioned them earlier. ATII, they follow money to fight slavery. You can see here all the different information that you can get in their platform. Again, it's ATII, or the Anti-Human Trafficking Intelligence Initiative, and also the International Justice Mission. I know they're working all over the world and doing great things out there. Showed you some of the information. As far as the tool I showed you today, it's both mobile and computer. If you just want mobile, it could be purchased as a separate item. It looks exactly like what I showed you today, just doesn't have the computer. If you want the computer and not the mobile, same. Looks exactly like what I showed you today, just doesn't have the mobile portion of it. And if you wanted both, it can be incorporated into one tool. Training, mobile's 8 hours, computer's 16 hours. Put them together, it's 20 hours. And if you put them both together, you get certified in our mobile device investigator and our digital evidence investigator, or other triage investigator, or triage G2. You'll get certificates for both of them at the end. Online, you want to see a little bit more about the tool. I know it's tough to show things here. We got a lot of short demo videos, and we've got some 3 to 5 minute videos to show you specific parts about the tool, bringing in keywords, bringing in hashes, running a scan, saved credentials, right? How that works. We have our newest videos is actually connecting to an M1 and T2 chip Mac, and pulling information off that, so you'll be able to see that. So we have all that online for you to do. Support second to none. We run all the time. We have a great support team in place. And as I mentioned up front, you have questions, give us a call. There's nothing more I love to do than to sit with everybody and actually talk about your use cases and how we can fit in and learn about what you're actually doing, because everybody's different. I could sit up here and generalize all day, but it's you on the ground doing the work, doing the great work. And I just love to hear the stories. Kind of keeps me connected too. I miss that. Let's see. Do you publish any kind of white papers on current trafficking trends? Don't know if we have anything up there, but good question. If we do have something, or we have something one of our partners is, we can put that up online, and I will look for this later, and we'll try to contact you and see exactly what it is you're looking for and how we can help in that way. So with that, we're coming up. I want to thank everybody for their attention today. I really appreciate you coming out and listening. A high-level overview. Please, let's have a conversation about your uses and how we can help in this just industry that needs to be stopped. Right. So, thank you. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week.
Okay. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but that kind of stuff is scary for a lot of reasons. I mean, number one, because it is necessary. Number two, because it's something that people are capable of using on your phones. I do remember at the very beginning, and I might have missed something, but the fact that your phone has to be unlocked, that's great and everything. But I don't know how much you know about security, but there are day zero exploits that are, or sorry, 0-day exploits that are being brought out constantly. The CIA and NSA released, oh my God, what's it called? Not Fuzzy Bear. Anyway, but a number of their different tools that are being used that know how to use all those exploits. So it's not like you can have much privacy as it is. Five Eyes and other giant organizations that are out there that know how to get into your equipment. They can put things on your machine, whether they were there or not. They can put them there, and then they can get you arrested. So I mean, while these tools are great and they are necessary, um, I'm scared for privacy, and these are the kind of things that are they're being used more and more. We're also starting to see people that can actually read all of your texts real time. I know some people with a group, and they're actually trying. Not only are they doing like basic text reading, but they're also reading meaning into things. They can do it in multiple languages. And those are the good guys, but as you know, any tool can be used for good or bad. And we have to be very cautious about this type of stuff. This is not the world that I want to be living in. And I was just telling one of my friends that one of the big problems that we have with trafficking is not necessarily that you've got one person with a bunch of sexually explicit images on your phone. You have people that are toiling in the extractive industries constantly across the world. The IMF is going in and disrupting countries and destroying people's cultures. We have big problems with human trafficking, and I'm sorry that it just doesn't have that much to do with one single iPhone. We're talking about people that are disrupting entire countries and cultures. So glad these tools exist. It looks like it's pretty simple to utilize these things, and that's really good too for police departments. Um, I like that we're still supposed to believe that these phones have to be unlocked, and um, the security devices are turned off by somebody else. But I think if we do enough soul searching, we know as well as anybody else that they don't need to do any of this stuff. In fact, just a few days ago, they found an exploit in Linux, which has always been seen as one of the safest operating systems that you can put on something. So nothing is safe. All right. Well, with that, I hope I don't sound horrendously bad or anything. But really glad you had a couple of minutes to spend with us, and hope you learned something. So I'm going to sign off, and